Hello everyone, today we are going to learn about pick comps and how to play them to perfection, like Gen G did against Hanwha Life. If you're new to the concept of pick comps or not regularly watching League of Legends, let's start with what is a pick comp. A pick comp is a team composition that excels at finding someone away from their team and converting it into rapid kills. Pick comps are generally my favorite type because most of the time you actually choose what to do, where to fight in the game. That's why I like it, and you can actually dictate your opponent what to do too. Pick comps generally have good single target CC, high amount of burst damage, and ability to chase down the running champions. Pick comps generally lack the damage or survivability for straight up 5v5, but they compensate by having numbers advantage. So now that we know what is a pick comp, let's just jump into our game and see the live example of it. First, let's check if we have the components. We have good single target CC. We got Y ult, Ahri E, and Rakan can also help with his own CC too. So we can say we have good single target CC. High amount of burst. We have a high amount of burst damage. Y and Ahri are both good at this. Also good, but MF and Jace are also having two of the highest burst damage in their respective roles. So that's good too. We got a lot of burst damage too. Ability to chase down. We got Ahri ult. MF is probably the fastest ADC in the game in default speed with our W. We got Jace gates, we got Rakan's W, we got Y's chasing potential, so we have the ability to chase down too. We can say that we have the components. So how we are going to play it? What's the plan of playing it? Pick comps are actually all about planning, and I'm gonna give you a 3-part plan to how to execute this to perfection, but most of the time teams forget about this and just go with the flow. But planning is good, and you're gonna understand after this video. Part 1 of the plan, how to get ahead. Let's go back into our game. At 356, Gen G bot lane starts recalling. Y is also recalling inside the top side of enemy jungle too, just to give Jace safety while he's pushing his last wave before going back to base himself. At 415, Ambessa is unaware of this opponent Ambessa, assuming Jace is saving his teleport and running back to lane and used his own teleport to top lane to get lane priority. After seeing MF on top lane, Ambessa's teammate Alistar starts moving to help Ambessa push the minion wave and help her recall to match Jace. But at 545, the damage is done. Ambessa is losing minions. You can see the turret is killing the minions, and Jace is at base, and he still didn't use his teleport. He can still teleport to Void Grabs if needed. You may ask, all those things that happened could happen without a pick comp actually, but we are getting to the pick comp part with the Void Grabs. Jace having a lead and a TP advantage, converted into Void Grabs and experience and tempo lead for Y, who has the essential tools for the pick comp. Now, we got a lead for our Y too. At 940, Aurora gets charmed, then caught by Y for first blood. Now Y's lead converted into golden tempo lead for Ahri. And this is what you do to how to snowball a game with a pick comp too. At the 12th minute mark, we all got a lead for our team comp. Jace got a lead, Y got a lead, Ahri got a lead. I mean, you can see a gold lead for MF and Rakan, but that doesn't matter. These are all small leads, and they won't win us the game actually. Now at this point, Ambessa makes a mistake. She greeds for one more minion wave. Y and Jace reacts to that like in 10 seconds. Jace even teleports in the middle of the road. He was going back to his lane too, but he just decides to go back with teleport because Ambessa greeted and Y and Jace caught her and get a kill. And now we're officially ahead with a gold lead too. That was the first part of our plan. Part 1 is done. We got a lead. We are ahead. Part 2. Let's go fishing. Alpern, you just said pick comps are all about planning, and now you say we go fishing. And yes, we're actually planning a fishing trip. We're not just randomly fishing. We're planning a fishing trip. Now that we are ahead in gold and tempo, we use this lead to fish for kills and take down some map objectives with it. At 1510, this is our first fishing trip. I mean, if you watch the game, or if you want to watch the game, you can actually check it later, but Gen.G does those fishing trips like 2 or 3 times too. But the first one is enough for an example. Gen.G see 3 Hanwha players on bot side and Ezreal on mid. That means the objectives on the top side are free. And Ahri and Y just dives Aurora, even without minions. And that's a good thing, because most of the time pick comps can do that. Because pick comps have the burst damage to kill someone under the turret without minions. You most of the time you need minions and want to juggle the aggro too. But with pick comps we don't need that. We have that damage. Y barely survives. Ahri dies to Naafiri afterwards, but that doesn't matter. Because they just converted a kill into a map objective. In this case, first turret. If it's a good fishing trip, we caught a giant turret fish. And that's enough for our converting our lead into map objectives. Part 3. Winning a team fight without team fighting. We got our tempo, gold, and objective leads. Now, we are already ahead. We can dictate what to do in the map. But our team comp, still doesn't have the straight up team fight strength. We are not going to win a team fight just by running onto them, even if we are ahead. That's the negative part of pick comps, but it doesn't matter. Our wallets are thick and we can use our wallets to slap our opponents, but still might not be enough. So what was the part that we mentioned in the beginning? We need to do something to not fight as a 5v5. We need to convert it. What did we say? We said pick comps generally lack the damage or survivability. So we need to compensate by having a numbers advantage. And part 3 is all about that. At 2117, Chovy teleports behind of the enemy team instead of going base. Why do they do that? What was the purpose of this play? I mean, he has gold and he wants to spend it. And at this point, you can check. Like, you can check this moment. Gen.G are almost like 6k ahead in gold. But they're not that ahead in items. Jayce's Manamune is not converted. MF couldn't finish her Infinity Edge. And Ezreal on the opponent team, on Hanwha Life, is on a massive item power spike. And Gen.G still decides to go for it. Because they saw the opportunity to not have a straight up 5v5. And if you can watch this fight, it finishes with Ezreal trying to run away from Ahri. And we can actually see the strength of the champion too. The strength of the comp too. We are just... Gen.G is just... The pick comp is just chasing people one after another. They were not ahead in the beginning of this fight. They still won the fight because it was not a straight up 5v5. That was the strength of the pick comp. They just brawled, picked Alistar first, then converted into a 5v4 and played it to perfection like that. Now, after this point, I mean, after winning this fight, the game is actually at a point of no return. After this moment, you can just watch the game and see Gen.G just fishing for more kills, getting more objectives, getting Arakan, going towards Baron side. Doesn't matter. We got a huge gold lead that Hanwha Life couldn't crawl back without Gen.G throwing their lead. And this was a great example of how to play the pick comp. We watched the game. We watched the clips. You don't need 15 kills or constant mistakes from your opponent. You just execute the plan and use the strength of your champions. That's it. I mean, we didn't have Ruinous Arakan in this game. This game was so low on kills and damage to enemy champions. We didn't have a Ruinous Arakan. We had a Voracious Arakan. And still a pick comp which leads a tempo lead and tries to dictate a game could win the game, even in a slow-paced game. That was the good part of it, and that was actually a perfect execution of a pick comp. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps in your League of Legends journey. Take good care of yourself, and see you on the next one.